This unusual creature is a mantis shrimp, and you hardly ever find them outside of their holes. It really has bizarre characteristics. It's kind of like a alien lunar vehicle with all its different antennae and legs. They have these extremely powerful little front pincers which they can shoot out at a rapid speed. Just across on the sand there was this beautiful honeycomb moray. These creatures don't actually need to swim to be able to pass water over their gills. Each time he opens a mouth, he takes a gulp of water, and this is later passed back over the gills. And this enables these types of eels to remain motionless for several hours at a time. Now this was something different. This is a scorpion fish. This is not an uncommon creature here at the reefs, but you don't often see them sitting on sand. This guy was having a little bit of trouble with the surge itself, and he was getting shunted around quite a bit at the bottom. And eventually he got fed up with being pushed around on the sand and moved along to an adjacent rock. I noticed these 4 bluefin kingfish on patrol. Now these fish are quite aggressive predators and they're quite clearly hunting. These reef mantas seem to have home territories, in contrast with the oceanic mantas, which will cover complete oceans and will spend 1 year in Australia and perhaps another off the East African coast. As it swims into the current, it can pretty much hold its position, and this gives a chance for the tiny doctorfish or cleaner wrasse to come out from the reef and clean the tiny parasites off this animal's body. Now the fact that I'm diving down here by myself on this shallow reef means that it's very, very low impact. You can see the manta comes right close by me. These have got to be some of the most beautiful and incredibly interesting animals in the entire ocean. As you can see, they're swimming quite close to the surface and they're quite relaxed. I did notice there is one youngster in amongst them, and a lot of the adults are actually surrounding him. They are not in any hurry whatsoever. This one dolphin that's just passed me here will be the sentry, just checking that I'm not a threat to any other members of the pod. Dolphins are quite curious. They usually will come up and have a quite good look at you, And especially on the first few passes, after that, I seem to think they get bored with our presence, if nothing else, and they just carry on passing us pretty much nonchalantly. This turtle is also very relaxed for a loggerhead. Usually they don't give you time of day. So at this point, I hadn't even begun the dive today yet, and I decided I'm going to head down to Anvil Rock here, just take a look at what's going on this particular reef. Now the conditions are absolutely stunning. There's a lot of light penetrating, and I've been quite curious about this particular anemone, and I wanted to take a closer look. These beautiful 2-bar anemone fish have made their home in amongst this anemone. Now, over the past weekend, we've had relatively large swell that's been smashing the coastline, and there's quite a lot of this seaweed which has been ripped up. There's always a lot of life here in the mid-water. In the background, there's this potato bass which has been lurking here for the past couple of days. It is semi-resident, we do tend to see him quite often. And I have noticed that his belly is a bit rounder than usual, so I suspected over the weekend he's probably picked off quite a nice little fat parrotfish or some other fish of the sorts. Eventually I moved on from him and I went to the outside of Little Stringer. There's glassies, there's tiny cardinals. I even noticed a few small juvenile sea pike. And they all mingle together in the mid-water, and every now and again I would see them darting down and taking shelter in the reef. And then the usual suspects. These bluefin kingfish frequent this reef, and there were 8 of these fish, and they were just patrolling this outside edge. Now, they almost tend to work the area in a line, and as they move through, they'll disappear from sight for a couple minutes. The baitfish tend to relax then and they head up higher in the water column. And the kingfish will start to appear once again in the distance, and they move closer and closer before heading almost straight through the tiny school of baitfish. I guess their intentions are just to split it up into various tiny pockets. Now the glassies and the baitfish themselves, they tend to move all together. Safety in numbers is the theory here. They're hoping that their sheer numbers and the mass movement will serve to confuse these lightning fast predators